It's just not going to happen. Understand that. Figure it out. Just because you're a human being and have a spirit, you're not a member of Old Warson. You're not a member of Belle Reve. You're not a member of all these other clubs, but you're a human being. But you're not a member of that club. So guess what? You're not getting into that club. So you have to do certain things to get into those clubs, right? Got to pay a lot of money. Well, in order to pay a lot of money, you got to have a lot of money, right? You do. So if one of your goals in life is to get into a country club, you better save some money, you better make some money, you better save some money, right? Heaven's a club. If you know you want your eternal soul to be in heaven, you better know what the membership requirements are, right? Like, how much money does it take to join that club? Like, what do I have to do to be able to join that club? Like, well, first of all, like, better not piss off 3 members that'll blackball you. Better not piss off. I found that out when I was in a fraternity. And one of my pledges got blackballed. I was Alpha Kappa Psi. And I left the fraternity over this. But because they blackballed them, not that they blackballed them. It didn't, like, if they didn't want to be a member of the fraternity, that isn't why I got so upset. What upset me was that they used the fraternity as a way to punish him, right? So everything was great, everything was fine, but he had said some stupid stuff to somebody, and they didn't like the cut of his jib, so they were going to use the blackball process to embarrass him, to make him. They knew they weren't going to let him in, but rather than just telling me that he wasn't going to make it in, they waited till he went through all the things to become a member, and then they used the blackballs kind of like as a way of retribution. And it flew all over. I couldn't let it go. And I left the fraternity. That was and I enjoyed Alpha Kappa Psi. I did. But I didn't enjoy it anymore after that. I didn't enjoy that they had used the fraternal organization as a way of punishment, of hurting somebody. So I left. But if you want to be a member of an organization, of a club, you have to fulfill certain obligations. If you want your spirit to be a member of the Heaven Club, you have to fulfill certain obligations. What are those obligations? Well, before Jesus Christ, before Moses, I don't know what the club's manual was for getting in, but after Moses wrote down the 10 Commandments, 5,000 years ago or maybe longer, from God, thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's goods. It was pretty spelled it out in 10 pretty simple lessons about what you needed to do in order to get into the club. And even with 10 pretty simple, clear-cut messages, club membership is, I love thy God above all else. They're relatively simple, relatively simple commandments. Not many people were able to live their lives and honor those 10 commandments. We're not able to do it. Pretty small club. Pretty small membership. A lot of territory, a lot of room in the club, but very few people to enjoy the club with. Then came along, and Jesus was always here with us, but Jesus came down from heaven to expand he was like the greatest membership director of all time, right? Like, new memberships all go through Jesus. And he gave us a different playbook. It included the Ten Commandments, but there was a caveat. There was like a get out of jail free card. We understand that you probably have failed the monetary needs to get into heaven. We understand you've probably failed all the other things that you need to get into our club. But this guy Jesus is says he knows you. That's it. This guy, this Jesus fellow, he's vouching for you. Like you go to a nightclub and you want to get into a nightclub at night, and the line is 1,000 people long, but there's a guy at the door, and he points you out and says he knows you. That's all it takes. That's all it takes for Jesus to know you. So, what do you think the best way is for Jesus to know you? What do you think it is? It's for you to know Jesus. That's it. If you know Jesus, then Jesus will know you. So you got to add one friend. You got to add one friend to your repertoire of friends. That's it. This guy named Jesus. You got to add him to your friend list. You got to add him to your Facebook list. You got to add him to your Telegram, to your WhatsApp chat. That's it. Add Jesus to your life so that you know Jesus, and that when your spirit is ready for the eternal euphoria, the never-ending joy of the next world, that Jesus knows you. It's simple. It's simple. And the way to get to know Jesus is the Bible, the New Testament. Read about the people that walked with him and lived in his day in the New Testament. And you determine how well you want to know Jesus. But at the end of the day, not to be self-serving, but at the end of the day, what you really want, the purpose of knowing Jesus, and why you're taking the time to add him to your friend group, get to know who he is, what he's like, what he likes to do, where he likes to hang out, what his habits are, if he likes pickleball or not. And I don't want to say it all has to be an end game. It kind of is an end game, but it's not a bad end game. You get to know this Jewish guy that lived 2,000 years ago, that had a great mom, Mary, great mother, great father, Joseph, sacrificed a lot so that Jesus could have a great childhood and have a great life. Get to know Jesus. And the end result of getting to know Jesus is you've added another friend to your repertoire of great friends. You got a guy that always has your back, always has your back. You can ask him anything, tell him anything. A man's man. And a man for women too. He's not going to leer over you. He's not going to try to possess you. He's not going to strike you. So a great man for women too, for ladies, for girls. His number one hero is his mom. He loves his mom, right? So a great guy. If you want a guy friend, you're a girl. You're worried about guy friends. Jesus is the greatest guy friend ever. Bring Jesus into your life. And the end result, the goal of this friendship is for you to know 100% at the end of it that Jesus knows you. Because that's what you want when you go into the next world. Because there's going to be a lot of people that know Jesus, but you got to make sure Jesus knows you. Make sure of it. Make sure of it. All right, that's the show. Feel that euphoria in beautiful things, in joy of joys. I felt it a few times in my life, and I hope I get to feel it a few more. But the closer you are to Jesus, the more times you'll feel it. Amen. I say unto you, brothers and sisters, have a great week. Have a great weekend. And shout out to the Grateful Dead and Bob Weir. Bob Weir passed away, and I hope Bob knew Jesus, and I hope Jesus knew Bob, because what a great life. 16 years old, he joined the Grateful Dead, and what a great life. So many great things. And I've felt a few euphoric moments with the Grateful Dead at concerts, but the drugs may have helped a little bit with that, but they were still there. But I love the Grateful Dead, and I appreciate what Bob Weir in his life meant for me in my life. So everybody, have a great weekend. And Joe Finn out. We're gonna end this. We gotta end it with the Grateful Dead. And I don't have a ton of Grateful Dead songs on here, but I always, St. Stephen, we're going to go with a more upbeat Grateful Dead song. And this is how we end the show. Are you ready?
Red and white, blue suede shoes. I'm Uncle Sam. How do you do? Give me 5. I'm still alive. Ain't no luck. I learned to duck. Check my